Princess Charlotte is the richest kid on Earth. Princess Charlotte is worth more money than the Kardashians, all put together. Not only is she the richest kid in the entire world, but she's technically the richest person in the whole royal family. You'd think that title would have belonged to Queen Elizabeth. But at only 7 years old, Charlotte beat even the Queen. Her Majesty was worth around $600 million. But Charlotte is worth almost 10 times more at, wait for it, $5 billion. Let's put it this way, it's worth more than Kim Kardashian and Oprah Winfrey both put together. That means that Charlotte also beats the actual king, whose wealth is worth around the same as Her Majesty's was. And don't think this little princess is just a spoiled brat who gets all her money from her parents. Oh no, she's worth even more than William and Kate together. Of course, Princess Charlotte was born into royalty. The British royal family, the Windsor family, is one of the wealthiest families in the world. Since birth, she was exposed to a life of incredible luxury and showered in unimaginable gifts, some of which cost more than an average person's annual salary. Like this $45,000 baby rattle made of 18-karat white gold and lined with sapphires, rubies, and diamonds to form the shape of Britain's Union Jack flag. That's the great thing about being a little royal. She didn't even ask for the gift, and being a newborn baby, she surely could not appreciate how much it was worth. It was just a gift from a world-renowned jewelry company because, well, just because she's princess. And on the day she was born, famous London landmarks were lit up in pink like London Bridge, the iconic fountain in Trafalgar Square, and the Tower of London. And all that must have cost a pretty penny. Speaking of birth, royal kids aren't born in ordinary hospitals. Like her two brothers, Prince George and Prince Louis, Charlotte was born in St. Mary's Hospital's Lindo Wing, where it costs around $8,900 per day and looks more like a luxurious hotel than a hospital. But simply being born into the British royal family doesn't mean Charlotte just gets everything she wants. So how does a girl of only 7 years old become not only the richest kid on the planet, but the richest person in the entire royal family? Well, it's not like Charlotte shuffles dirt for pocket money, and she's definitely not working a full-time job, because that sort of thing would be frowned upon. Actually, the net worth of the royal kids isn't determined by how much money they have in their bank accounts, or by how much they get from their parents or taxpayers. It's calculated by their value to the British economy, and by how much they can drive sales that ultimately pour in billions of dollars to the economy. Since she was born, Charlotte was an absolute fashion icon. Any dress or outfit the little princess would wear would immediately become high fashion, and almost every mom wanted it for her own kid. In fact, there's even a name for it, the Charlotte effect. Just take this simple Breton striped dress for instance. Charlotte stole the show at the 2022 Commonwealth Games when she wore this outfit by the British brand Rachel Riley. Such a fashion icon is Charlotte that the dress sold out in 24 hours, and the clothing brand had to put a waiting list on it. And don't think Charlotte gets spoiled rotten with only the most expensive designer clothes. This dress was only around $45. Not that much considering she's third in line to the throne. And what about this floral dress she wore on her 6th birthday? It cost only $85 and sold out in just 12 hours. And even more impressive, the company then sold 6 months worth of stock in just 3 days. The dress she wore on her 4th birthday was an equal hit, and once again, it cost under $100. This fashion influence is something Charlotte got from her mom. Long before the Charlotte effect, there was the Kate effect. Right from the moment Kate Middleton entered the royal family, she was seen as a fashion icon and a trendsetter. Everyone wanted to copy her style and wear the same outfits. What's more, Kate makes it easy for everyday women to copy her. Instead of only wearing expensive designer outfits, she often supports local clothing brands that regular women can also afford. And that's one of the things that helps boost the economy. When local brands and stores get more sales because people want to shop where the royals shop. And that's how Charlotte is worth billions of dollars. But don't be too quick to throw away her siblings. After Charlotte, guess who's the 3rd and 4th richest royals? Yup, Princes George and Luise both are also worth more than any other royal family member. Sadly for the two brothers though, fashion is more of a girl's game, and they don't have the same influence as their sister. Still, at age 9, George is worth a whopping $3 billion. The Their little brother Louis, who at only 3 years old already has more money than 95% of the population, is worth around a cool $700 million. But just how much are the royals worth, and where do they get their money from? Because technically, they don't have jobs like us normal folk. Well, while the royal family work for themselves, they also work for the Commonwealth and the British public.
The royal family is as much a business as they are a family, and they amount to $28 billion, roughly US.
Many people think they live off of taxpayer money. That is true, but also not true.
Do you know the cost to every single taxpayer, the average cost per year is $1.50 a year for the royal family per person.
The royal family costs taxpayers around $560 million each year. But get this.
The royals bring in $2.7 billion in revenue to the UK economy.
And to put that into perspective, the royal family as a business ranks 4th largest in the world, just behind major companies like Google, Apple, and Amazon. A large portion of the family's income is from the Sovereign Grant, which, according to the royal family's website, is a collection of UK properties and farms that generate hundreds of millions of pounds each year. Then there are things like the Privy Purse, the Duchy of Lancaster, and the Duchy of Cornwall, which also consists of various investments, land, property, and assets. But what do you think about Charlotte's insane net worth and her influence as a fashion icon at just 7 years old? Is it a good thing for a kid so young, or should she not be exposed to the spotlight yet?